Hello, sweet friends. It is my favorite time of year, and that is sharing with you my new journal for 2026. Last year, you fell in love with my pirate-themed journal, and while we are closing the chapter on pirates, we are keeping it open for new adventures, found family, and epic tales. So today, I want to introduce you to what I'm lovingly calling my epic reading journal for 2026. The journal I chose here is an Archer in Olive 8x8 dot grid square notebook with a beautiful gold foiled rose and vine design. Sadly, she is sold out already, but they have so many lovely journals in stock, and their journals definitely hold up to everything I throw at them. These two journals here are the two journals I used in 2025. This is an Archer in Olive 8x8 journal, just like you see here. And this journal here is by Tiefossi, and I've been using this journal since July. Both are amazing, incredible quality, and this year I basically chose my favorite based on the design. But if you're new to journaling and are wondering which journals to get, I highly recommend both of those brands. I loved having a theme in my reading journal last year and dedicating it to some of my favorite stories. So this year I wanted to do something similar and dedicate it to one of my favorite trilogies of the whole year, or really my whole reading experience. And that is The Lord of the Rings. So in this journal, you're going to see lots of Hobbity inspired spreads, lots of quotes from J.R.R. Tolkien, new reading challenges specifically designed around this adventure, and some of my tried and true layouts that I already loved in my last journal with some new colors and fun washi tape. I'm going to do a flip through throughout this journal, and as we go along, I'll point out some of the materials that I used to create. If you're curious about anything along the way, let me know in the comments. And if this is your first time here, hi, my name's Amanda. I love to read and I love to journal, and I'm really glad you're here. For the first page, I did a beautiful collage. I brought them into Canva and recolored them so that they would have a similar green and yellow undertone. On this page here, the backdrop is actually the inside of the Archer in Olive notebook. I loved it so much, we just left it alone. And I added one of my favorite passages from The Lord of the Rings, and I thought it was very fitting for everyone here as we love stories. It says, "It's like in the great stories, Mr. Frodo, the ones that really mattered. Full of darkness and danger they were. And sometimes you didn't want to know the end, because how could the end be happy? How could the world go back to the way it was when so much bad had happened? But in the end, it's only a passing thing, this shadow. Even darkness must pass. A new day will come, and when the sun shines, it will shine out all the clearer." Those were the stories that stayed with you, that meant something, even if you were too small to understand why. But I think, Mr. Frodo, I do understand. I know now. Folk in those stories had lots of chances of turning back, only they didn't. They kept going because they were holding on to something. That there is some good in this world, and it is worth fighting for. I just wanted to let that be an encouragement to anyone going through a dark and difficult time at the moment. Please know there is hope in this world, and I'm so grateful that books like this remind us that it still exists. Without further ado, let's get into the rest of this journal so I can show you all of the fun pages that I've created in honor of this very special series. So for my epic journal, I had tried to come up with a rating system, but of course the word epic is 4 letters and not 5, and most rating systems I see out there are 5 letters long. So this is more of a review system, and there are 4 key areas that I personally look at when I'm reviewing books. But the hard thing to make it into a rating system is I don't necessarily gauge all of these pieces equally. Sometimes a book can be very engaging, but not as well written, and I still have a 5-star time. So these are just some things that I like to look at in books, and as I'm doing my book reviews and talking with you, these are the things that I want to start pointing out. So I want to be more intentional about giving you a well thought out review. So those 4 areas are E for engagement, P for perspective, I for illustration, and C for characters. If I focus on these areas of my review, I can tell you how epic that read has been. Behind this Hobbit door, I have my 2026 reading goals. My first goal being knock 50 books off my TBR. This can be by reading the book or unhauling it. I made so much progress in my TBR challenge this year where I focused on reading or unhauling 100 books. And throughout the year, that number grew as I purchased more books and added to the pile. But it's been a great learning year for me, and it's helped me get out of that impulse buying and hoarding of books when I have so many on my shelves already that need to be read. So while my TBR goal is less, I doubled my series goal. This year, I really want to focus on finishing series. Because a lot of my series this year, I didn't own the full series. I wasn't intentionally reading them because I was focused on my TBR. So I'm hoping that these goals together will balance out a little bit stronger. I, as always, want to plan a bookish getaway. It is so much fun to just go away with some girlfriends for a weekend and make intentional time for reading. It's the coziest, comfiest getaway I can think of, so definitely want to plan something like that. Host a readathon. If you guys have been around for a while, you know that I love readathons, and I'm actually hosting my first readathon right now, if you take a look at my previous video. It is pirate themed, it is so much fun, and you can do it at any point throughout the year. Another goal I have is to attend an author event. Just a few weeks ago, actually, I went to Elise Meyer's book signing and discussion show in Santa Monica, and it was so much fun, and I want to do more activities like that. And then finally, more creator collaborations. This year, I have had the pleasure of interacting with many of my fellow creators and putting together a video with Joshi Corinne and my friend Lenka over at Rhyme Art and Bujo. But I've also become friends with a lot of you other journal channels as well, and I just want to do more collaborations together. So those are my ultimate 2026 reading goals for the year. Then we get to my unread library. This was one of my favorite pages in my journal this year, and it really did help me stay accountable to read the books that I already own on my shelves. And it gives me the satisfaction of ticking off the boxes as I read them in a very visual way. So let me show you what this has started to look like in last year's journal. So last year, these were all of the books that I physically have on my TBR. And then each month I would color in as I would read those books. So as you can see, there's still a lot of white spines that are not filled in yet, but I am very proud of the progress that I did make on this page. So we're going to do the same thing here. I still need to do an ultimate unhauling and review of everything to see what I truly want to keep, but I'm excited to ultimately fill this in for the new year. The quote I chose for this page is, "Home is behind, the world ahead, and there are many paths to tread. Through shadows to the edge of night, until the stars are all alight." And then we get to my master list of all of the books that I read throughout the year, and a couple statistics that I wanted to kind of track. So I've created a Dutch door system, but every page is the same. And the information that I'd like to track is the number order of the books I'm reading, a star rating, and I just write in 1 through 5, the title of the book, the author, the genre, the narrator, the setting, when I finished it, the format, either audio, physical, or ebook, how long the book was, either in hours or by pages. Do I own the book? Is it a new book, or did I borrow it? So that's all the information that I like to track, and instead of making different pie charts and things throughout the year that I have to fill in, I feel like it's much easier to have kind of a master list of everything. And then later, if I want to take that data and create a visual chart, I can, and I can do it for the whole year. I also wanted to point out some stationery that I used on this page. Scripted washi tape from Amazon. You're gonna see this washi tape a lot. It's just some branches, and this is by a small business called The Creeping Moon, and they have an Etsy shop. And then I also used these Notebook Therapy washi tapes. These come together in a kit as well as some other washi tapes too, but these are the primary ones I use throughout my journal. And of course we need room for new books, so New Discoveries is the page where I'm going to log all the new books that I acquire throughout the year. Now, some of these are books that I have already read and I just want to add to my collection. Some will be new books that are new releases, and others will be gifted to me. So I like to track for what reason I am purchasing books, as I do have a reading challenge set up that will allow me to buy books throughout the year. This grid here is to track my book hauls. So every month, I'm just going to put the total number of books I read from my TBR and then how many books I'm adding to my TBR. I always want this number to be much, much higher than this number because, again, I really want to make progress there. And ultimately, all of these numbers here should add up to at least 50 books. Over here, I've created a little pocket that I titled Familiar Sights. And this is part of my reading challenge. I did this last year with a Battle the Kraken style challenge, and I liked certain aspects of that I wanted to carry through to this year. So first is a TBR loyalty card. So this has the 6 challenges that I am doing this year. And at the end of the year, I like to go and do a book haul with my girlfriends for New Year's, just to restock up on some books and get excited about reading in the month of January. So if I complete these 6 challenges in 2026, then that will earn me a book to spend during that book haul day. Then throughout the year, there are a few ways that I can earn books. The primary way is to read books from my physical bookshelf. So as I read books off of my TBR, I'm going to write them on this library card. And once I read 10 books, then I have earned a free book and I can go pick one out at the bookstore. I found this super motivating last year, so I wanted to carry it through. Another way I can earn a book is to complete a backlist. So for example, one of the characters I really enjoy is R.F. Kuang, but I've only read 2 of their books. So I've read The Poppy War and Yellowface. Now, if this year I finish all of these books, I can also get a new book. Up next, we have our milestones, which are monthly statistics. Here, all I'm doing is tracking how many books I've read, how many pages I read with my eyeballs, how many hours I listened to books, how many of those books were audiobooks, print books, on my TBR, loaned out, or new. On this side, I have a section for my nonfiction reads. I only read a couple nonfiction each year, so having a half page is plenty of space for this. What I'll do is I'll print out tiny little book covers and I'll paste them into this section here. So this won't remain blank once I start reading some nonfiction. On this page, I use this beautiful vine washi tape that I got on Etsy. This is part of that botanical set from Notebook Therapy. I have some map stationery, which I'll also link that pack below. And that same kind of scripted font washi tape. And then I have all of these little bookish stickers that I felt were still very representative of the Shire and cozy bookish hobbies. And those are from one of my most used washi tape packs. It's called Journal and Books from the Washi Tape Shop. As you can see, like this whole roll is half used, and I consistently use this throughout the journal as well. So definitely a good find if you like a cozy academia vibe. I feel like it worked well in my pirate journal. It works well in my Lord of the Rings journal. It's very versatile for lots of things. This next page, I basically copied the same layout as last year. This is where I mark all of the books that I'm excited about coming up at future dates. And then I also have a section for my ARCs, or advanced readers copies. I love the layout of this spread. It worked very easily for me, even though I did run out of space for my ARCs. So this is same font, different color. So again, on this side, it'll have a space for me to write in all of the books that I'm anticipating this year. And on this side, instead of ARCs, we're gonna call them ORCs in honor of this guy right here. So I'll just paste in a little book cover of all of the advanced readers copies I read throughout the year. And I just do that through NetGalley, which anybody can sign up and do. And I'm very selective with the books I read on there because I don't want to be overwhelmed with having to read a lot of ARCs. But it is fun to go in there and see if there are any of my anticipated books available to read early. It's always a little bit exciting to get to be among the first people to read this. So I enjoy being an early reader on NetGalley. This is another spread that I really loved that I wanted to put a new spin on this year from last year's journal. As most of the books that I consume are audiobook, I wanted to motivate myself to still take the time to pick up a physical book and read it. So this spread is dedicated to the books that I physically read with my eyeballs. As I read those books, I will color in the spine of the book, and at the end of the year, I'll have a nice, beautiful and colorful bookshelf. So while these are blank now, it should look something like this towards the end of the year. But I always love a shelfie with a window, so I had to make a really beautiful hobbity window with the sunset in the background because it just looks so cozy, and I wish that my own home office were this cozy. The next page is my series tracker. This is also not filled in yet because I need to go through all of my series and decide which ones am I truly interested in continuing and which ones do I want to thank and move away from. So again, I'll show you last year's journal so you can see how this works. Basically, I write in the name of the series, and then depending on how many books are in that series, to the right, I'm going to draw in that many boxes. So the Mortal Instruments is a 6-part series, and I've only read the first book. Now, when the box is black, that means that I read that book in a previous year. And the colorful boxes are the books that I read in 2025, and I mark them with a specific color for the month. So up here, I have my color key, which corresponds to the number you see on the grid. So this page will work the exact same way. I just need to write in each of the series I plan on continuing and mark down how many books I've already read from that series. The next 2 pages are really simple. I'm part of 2 book clubs, and I use these pages to paste in pictures of our group activities and also catalog which books we've been reading that year. So towards the end of the year, I'll have all of my little mini book covers in, and then I'll also have some personal pictures of my group that I can look at forever. The quote I chose for Book Besties is, "You can trust us to stick to you through thick and thin, to the bitter end, and you can trust us to keep a secret of yours, closer than you can keep it, but you cannot trust us to let you face trouble alone and go off without a word. We are your friends, Frodo." On this page, I used more of that botanical washi tape with some florals. This is a floral pack from the washi tape shop, and I love it because it is pre-cut, so you can literally pick which flowers you want, peel them off, and stick them down like stickers. So they're great for collaging. And then on this page, we have, again, all of the same kind of stickers you've seen before with a new addition. This is another washi tape from The Creeping Moon on Etsy. And the quote that I chose for this page is, "Alone, it is just a journey. Now adventures, they must happen together." I thought both of those quotes fit a friendship vibe so well. Then we're getting into the reading challenges. This is my favorite part of my reading journal, and what gets me so excited to have a reading journal is to gamify it. I know that while reading can be a solo activity, I like to enjoy reading with a community. So reading challenges and readathons and book clubs are a great way to do that. It really feels like I'm engaging with the books that I read. So as a title page here, we've got a collage of the Fellowship. There are 9 members of the Fellowship who help Frodo bring the ring to Mordor. And so I have a picture of all of them on this page. And then the font here is actually cut out from a cover of one of the really old Lord of the Rings books that I had that I'm using as just some scrapbook paper in the background. So I liked how that layered onto the whole collage. So my first spread here is called the Passport, and this is just a space for me to basically stamp anytime I participate in a readathon. So let me show you what my 2025 passport looks like. Each time I participated in a readathon, I would add a little logo of the readathon to this page. And I just think it's so cute to have the little stickers there. So I definitely wanted to carry this through to next year. Flipping ahead to another fun challenge I did last year, I created this reading challenge to go with my pirate themed, and I called it Sailed the Seven Seas. And the challenge was to read books that were set in the countries surrounding the seven seas. I loved this idea. I thought it was a very fun experience, and this year I wanted to create more reading challenges around the theme of my reading journal. So I came up with a new reading challenge that I'm calling the One Ring Challenge. And for this to make sense, I need to read you a passage from the book. So this is the lore of Lord of the Rings. 3 rings for the elven kings under the sky. 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone. 9 for mortal men doomed to die. 1 for the dark lord on his throne. In the land of Mordor, where shadows lie, 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them. In the land of Mordor, where the shadows lie. If you've watched the Rings of Power series on Amazon, you'll kind of understand this lore a little bit better, but there is 1 ring that essentially has power over all of these powerful leaders in the world. And it is Frodo's duty to destroy it because no one should wield that amount of power. So in honor of all of the other rings of leadership, I created a challenge. So for 3 rings for the Elven Kings, this is going to be a high fantasy reading challenge in which I choose to read 3 books this year in the high fantasy category. Then for the Dwarf Lords, they are given 7 rings, and I thought it'd be fun to read 7 historical fantasies, and 9 for the mortal men. For this, I thought we'd split up fantasy books into 3 different genres. We have dark academia, magical realism, and urban fantasy, which I feel like are all in the fantasy genre, but still in a very mortal way. So I split them up that way. And then finally, we have the 1 ring to rule them all. And for that, I would like to read The Silmarillion, which is the prequel to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And I have not read that yet, so I'm excited to get to that this year. The washi tape here with the stars and moons is by Marigona Sui, and I love how gold and shiny this page has become with the waterfall tabs. All right, this next challenge is my journey to Mordor. And this is a walking challenge, but with a bookish spin, because I need to bribe myself with books in order to get some physical activity in. So in this challenge, I'm going to attempt to walk from the Shire to Mordor this year. Wild, I know. That translates to about 1,800 miles, which equates to about 5 miles a day. Now, currently, my average is about 3.8 miles a day, so it's definitely not impossible since I haven't been intentional about walking that many miles, but it will feel like a challenge for sure, especially as I'm getting used to it. But I'm excited because at each point along the journey, when I hit these different milestones, I'll be able to purchase a new book for myself. So that is really going to motivate me to stay active. And I just think it's really fun to picture myself as making this journey in the same way that the Fellowship did, and how Frodo and Sam got that ring all the way to Mordor. So if you needed a sign to get to yourself a little healthier this year and want to go on this journey with me, I would love to know when you hit these milestones, and let's encourage each other together. My next reading challenge is simply to read books that have swords on the cover. I've looked through a lot of my TBR, and a lot of books have just a sword on the cover with the author's name and the title. And I thought, you know what, that's a fitting challenge for this journal. So I'm going to do it. These stickers here I just put in a bunch of little black and white pictures of swords and printed them on some clear vinyl sticky paper. You can kind of see the shine there. Therefore, kind of making my own PET tape, which is fun to kind of use as the background. So I know right now it's very gray all the way, but as soon as I get the book covers placed in here, I think this page is going to really pop and feel very colorful and like a lovely sword armory. Then on this page, I have my travels. This is one of my favorite pages in my journal as well, and I do it a little differently every year. In 2025, I drew a map, and my intention was to write the name of every place I went throughout the year. And I quickly realized that I was traveling a lot of places through books, and it wasn't going to fit on the map. So This year I'm going to do things a little differently. In the beginning, I showed you kind of my master list of everything, which contains the setting of the book. So on my travels, I'm only going to include the places that I'm traveling to for the first time, some fantasy cities, or just memorable travels overall. And I'll just be a little bit more selective. I don't think I need to write Los Angeles 10 times on this page if I travel there through books. I live there. It's not that interesting to me anymore. It doesn't feel like travel. So this is just going to be a selective account of the places I'm traveling this year through books. I have a photo here of Sam and Frodo. This is one of my favorite scenes in The Two Towers, and it really represents the struggle of adventure. And under him, I included another one of my favorite quotes. This says, "He loved the mountains, or he had loved the thought of them marching on the edge of stories brought from far away. But now he was borne down by the insurmountable weight of Middle-earth. He longed to shut out the immensity in a quiet room by the fire." And I feel like this is true for me. I absolutely love reading about these epic adventures, but if any of those circumstances were to happen to me in real life, I don't think I could handle it. I will take my cozy room by the fire and enjoy a good book any day. Another fun page that I do every year is Bookish Bingo. I do it a little bit differently than most, although I have seen many of you adopt my system and I am so giddy every time I see it. I feel like this is one of my authentic contributions to BookTube, and it's just a simple spin on bingo to where I'm hiding my coordinates so I cannot manipulate the game. I've done this in a couple different ways. One year I went through and I wrote in different book tropes or different goals, such as read a library book, read a book recommended by a friend. And when I would complete those tasks, I would take the washi tape off, reveal a coordinate, and then get to write in the name of the book that I used to complete the task. Last year, I gave myself the challenge of reading the most intimidating books on my bookshelves in a read or release type fashion. So I chose 24 books from my bookshelf and said, okay, I'm giving myself one more year to read these. And if I don't finish them, I'm going to unhaul them and get rid of them because they've sat on my shelves for far too long and they need the right home. And clearly mine is not it. So to give you an idea of what this looks like when it's filled in, as I read a book on my list, I'll highlight it, take the washi tape off, which will give me a coordinate. For the 5 wounds, it uncovered G4, which places the book cover right here. As you can see, I've been playing this all year and still haven't gotten a bingo, but I'm hoping that is going to change in my November wrap-up, which is coming to you soon. The books here that I have crossed out are the books that I ended up DNFing and just unhauling. And as you can see, I still have quite a few that I have not attempted to read just yet. So this was a really healthy challenge for me to go through this year. And so I'm going to do the same type of thing this upcoming year. And again, use the books that I'm most intimidated by on this list to really give myself a challenge in playing bingo. Finally, every year I love The Adventure in Aldea by Book Roast. This is part of the Magical Readathon world, and every year there is kind of a monthly book club where we're going on an adventure and reading a book a month. So because we're still waiting for the 2026 adventure, I'm going to leave these pages blank, and I'll probably also leave a couple more pages blank just in case I want to throw in another challenge. I love looking at all of your journal setups, and sometimes I find a great idea that I'm like, oh, I wish I had space for that in my journal. So this year I'm going to leave myself a couple pages of space. Worst case, I can always trim them out, or I can throw another quote inside, do another collage. There's always a way to fill up a blank space, but it's much harder to add a page that you want in later. In January, I'll do a review of this journal completely filled in with all of my TBR reads and the adventures and everything too. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any of those fun updates. Every month I do a reading review of my journal and build really beautiful spreads to illustrate the books that I'm reading. So if you liked what you've seen in the previous pages, I think you'll like my monthly videos as well, and I hope you'll stick around. If you guys are already loyal subscribers, thank you so much for being here. You know how much I love you. And if you would do me a favor and hit the little hype button down below, that helps my channel grow so much and tells YouTube that you want other people to see this video. Thank you so much for encouraging me along my reading journal adventure, and I hope that you are as excited about this new journal as I am. And I'm so excited to read with you in 2026 and build all the beautiful journal pages together. Stick around for a final quick flip of all of these pages again. Thank you so much. I'll see you later.